everybody, to quote Dr. Nick from The Simpsons. All right, so I've got a little mechanism set up here that I think will allow me to take video pretty securely and without bumping y'all around too much. So I'm gonna just start here, looking at my van, which you guys probably know, sans the little rocker panel on the right side that fell off on the way down here. Anyway, let's start. This is my parent. I just walked out the front door of my parents' house, and the sun is just starting to set, which I'm hopeful will give some good video conditions. There's some lovely manicured landscaping that we put in here. The house is small on the inside, but we've got a lot of really nice landscaping around it. It's just really cool. So I'm going to start at a little place that's nearest here. But I'm going to go down it backwards so that I don't tip forwards, which sometimes happens. Bump. All right. So we got our neighbor's house here. And go up. What's really cool is a lot of the people around here I know personally, and so I may run into some of them and end up having to explain that I'm narrating my little video. But anyway, you guys will be able to meet some new people. Come across here. Bump it a bump. And there is our neighbor's house. Lovely little statue of Mary there that I get to see every day. I'm not Catholic, but she's still important. Lovely little feature over there with rocks and a little glass or stone deer. One of those rocks looks like a pelvis, I'm just realizing. I would say, I'm sure they're not a serial killer, but this is Florida. So, we're gonna go past here. The guy that parks here has a Jaguar. And I don't want to run into it. I'm also very conscious of how much I'm bumping, but oh well. This whole pandemic thing is complicating things, because normally if I drop my phone or my Kindle or both, would be able to wait for some kind person to walk by and hand it to me, but now that option is not quite as attractive. Anyway, the first place, the closest place that I hang out is a little, what I thought was a bungalow attached to the golf course. Most of the residences here are, butt up against different golf course features. There's this little deal over there. Looks so cool and comfortable, and sometimes when it's raining, I used to come out here and sit under the awning over there, just kind of out of the house and looking at the cars, but still out of the way of the rain. And then I realized that is a bathroom, so I was sitting outside the bathroom just hanging out, which is probably a lot skeevier than I intended. Anyway, this is a golf cart track, a golf cart path. But normally they are very nice and are not coming around here blind and super fast. I'm not going to tilt the trees up because I'm not super confident that I can hold this apparatus, but it's very nice. Excuse me. I keep seeing lizards running around in the underbrush. They're basically like crickets or cockroaches around here, and I'm still not used to it because they're just so cool every time I see them. So here we are on this big water hazard. It's a lovely little lake that actually drains out into the intercoastal waterway a long way from here. And you see this little thing of padded dirt where I just kind of come and I'll hang out, goof around on my phone, listen to a podcast, or just kind of read a book and listen to The Golfer's Curse. You can see across the waterway, we got a lot of people sitting out on their back porch. It's very, very nice. It's one of my favorite places. Anyway, I'm gonna go back this direction now. I don't want to go too far along this golf cart path because it moves around quite a bit. You don't want to drop anything. What I want to do now is change up a little bit, go across the street. There's a little pond that whenever the grandkids are over, which much to the disdain or distaste, I tried to combine them, Mom and Dad, they're not coming over because we're kind of trying to keep our little loop closed until things start to clear a little bit. But anyway, whenever they come over, Graham, my nephew, always wants to go over to this little pond over here. And there is a family of turtles that live there, and if you can sneak up on them just right, they'll be still out sunning whenever you come upon them. Look both ways. Also take the moment to resettle my little apparatus here. Go across the street. You can see some of these lovely little inlets here with all these cul-de-sacs and nice homes. It's just so beautiful. Coming around this area, you can actually, if you look closely, which you probably won't be able to from this video, see some of the turtles or the alligator that lives here through some of these plants and foliage and stuff like that. But I doubt I can get a good shot of that, so I'm just going to pull up where we usually let the kids actually walk down. You can see through the trees there. There's a little waterway down under this hill. You can also turn to the left here. You can see a little park bench there on the right, on this waterway. Some lovely bikers. You got a good image of that waterway. Anyway, and then it sort of thins out here. And here's what we call Graham's Pond, because he just loves nothing better than going down there and seeing if he can see into the turtles. I won't try to do an impression of him, but it's adorable. And we'll hang out here sometimes and see if they'll show back up, or if they'll actually, sometimes we even see little things we might think might be the alligator. All right. Thanks, guys. Let's try to get all good and situated here. It's tilting to the left a little bit as I'm videoing, which plays to my advantage because all of the foliage and everything is on the left, but I'm not doing it intentionally, even though it's wonderful. And I take a little nice walk down here usually. But I also like to get a little bit out from the house. I'll lean back a little bit so you guys can see a little bit more of the harbor we live in. Oh man, that wind is phenomenal. Best thing about this time of year is you've got a little bit before the heat gets really bad and the humidity spikes through the roof, which, as much as I enjoy being around family last summer, it was kind of nice to get back home and be where when the wind blows it doesn't drown you. Anyway, you can look over here and see the golf course. It's very lovely. Anyway, can go. Keep hitting all these bumps, and I'm gonna reposition everything. Bump it a bump. I actually got, almost dropped it. That was my hand. Pardon my poor filmmaking. Anyway, I was going pretty fast, and my left heel, or not my left heel, my left wheel hit the little landscaping you can see there over on the left. Tilted me up pretty fast and actually flipped me all the way over. Keep going here. But anyway, I like to be a little bit away from the house, so this is why I come down this way. I'll usually sit for at least an hour every day down here by the little pond up here that I actually spent most of the recording session yesterday by the pond, and that's where I came up with the video I posted straight to Instagram. Try not to avoid, I try to avoid, or I try not to, one or the other, run over these little lizards, because I remember back when I was in 6th grade, that was all I wanted was a little lizard. And we finally ended up getting me one, and I found out you had to feed them live crickets, which I just was too soft-hearted to do. And then fast forward about 6 years, and what I wanted in a pet was whether or not they would live in an aquarium and whether or not they would eat live prey, and I was hoping they would. That's when I first got my Oscars, and then ended up going into the saltwater game. So I wanted a lionfish that would eat stuff for me, like in, oh, I can't believe I'm admitting seeing this movie a bunch, but like in Deuce Bigelow, that thing that ended up getting blended. That movie I watched and loved before I had any taste in movies. What a lovely little walk here. The green is so much deeper. I know it's just an optical illusion of looking at the grass under the shadows, but it still looks nice. I actually know most of, or at least a lot of my friends who live in homes don't actually have such a awe-inspiring appreciation for neighborhoods with sidewalks and stuff, since, you know, it's not that big of a deal in most neighborhoods. But since I'm off a ways from the main streets, I don't actually have the option, so that's why coming here is so wonderful. And I mean, it's wonderful even during normal times, especially when I can't actually get out and drive around and go places. What's really interesting about me not being able to do that the last month or 6 weeks is now that I'm kind of in the mode of not doing it, I don't really feel the need. I mean, I'd be excited to go down to Starbucks and hang out, or go to the library, or especially go to the movies, but I don't know, settled into a nice routine where I kind of see that stuff as nice to have, and yet not something that I feel like I must do every day like I did before I lived through this pandemic. I mean, it's still going on, but before I got to realize I didn't have to do all those things simply by being forced not to do them. One of my favorite things during normal circumstances is to drive all the way down to our little, for my Ada friends, it's like North Hills, but it's just sort of a commons area where there's a Publix and a Walgreens and a Burger King and a Starbucks and a bunch of other stuff, and I like to drive down and either hang out in Starbucks and have a frap, or go down to the convenience store and grab a drink and then come back and goof around some more at my parents' house. I did that more when I was down here last year around this time because, interestingly enough, the chair that I was in, since my other one broke, I'm sure a lot of y'all heard about that, was much faster than the one I'm in now. So it would just blister up there, and I could get there not very long. I don't know exactly how long, but it was pretty fast. We're coming on. Let's look left. Make sure we're nice and clear. I love these streets where you actually have a little island in the middle of the different lanes. Makes me feel like I'm playing like a real life version of Frogger. And we're clear on the right. Just took the moment to resettle my apparatus. Here we are, this lovely little pond that has been sort of my island to go to when I just sort of need to escape a little bit and sit by something that reminds me of nature and just makes me feel comfortable and like I'm out, not just sitting at home, but also near enough that I feel like I'm near family. Oh, bump it a bump. I almost lost it again. And now that I'm stopped, or a little bit more secure, I can show a pan shot. I love these little grotto apartments there on the right, behind my wheelchair console. They always have lights, Christmas lights in the top one, and it makes me think back when I was a little kid and we would have Christmas lights in my bedroom. I mean, even year round, and it just was such a neat little experience. But anyway, I'll close with a little bit of silence so you guys can hear all the wind and the birds. And we'll finish right under 20 minutes. If you watch the whole thing, well, I I'm surprised you don't have anything better to do, but I still appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great day.